वेलकम एवरीवन, वेलकम टू दिस एनुअल रैप. एक बोल सकते हैं दिस इज वी आर गोना बी डिस्कसिंग आवर क्वांट आउटलुक फॉर 2025 एंड let's talk about 2024 first. This has been an year of ups and downs to say the least. मतलब 26,000 की ऊंचाइयों को हमने छुआ and then last few weeks have been painful to say the least. From here on मेरे साथ है मिस्टर राज दीपक सिंह एंड मिस्टर जय ठक्कर. एक एनुअल रैप क्या रहा ये साल आपके अकॉर्डिंग एंड क्या लगता है 2025 में क्या आउटलुक बनेगा, जानने की कोशिश करते हैं आपसे.
Hi Vishu and hello everyone. Here we present our yearly quant outlook 2025. So Vishu, जहाँ तक market का सवाल है for the next year, what I think is that see, there are going to be challenges. There is going to be volatility for sure, is what I believe, and this is what our stance is. Initially, today, both volatility is what we're going to is likely to be seen, mainly because at the start of 2025, you have two major events. One is, of course, the new president-elect of US, Mr. Donald Trump, is going to take charge, and we all know how active he's always been as far as financial markets are concerned or the economy is concerned. I mean, anyone who has been in markets since 2014-15 must have experienced that, right? So that is first thing. Second is Vishu, definitely we have budget on 1st of Feb, and now that's been announced that it's on Saturday, so that Saturday is working. So that is one thing, that is the trigger. Hence, the volatility. Third is the kind of measures which our regulators have taken in India. See, first of all, the honorable finance minister in her last budget speech announced various measures as far as derivatives is concerned. I mean, by increasing the STT, so that the participation of the retail basically comes down, and the kind of losses which they make probably can be saved, right? So that is one. And secondly, after that, SEBI had taken various measures as far as discontinuing with the weekly expiries on many of the indices, and then of course making them quite consolidated and increasing the lot size and etc. So we have done spaces on that as well and discussions on that as well. Now these measures in January would have more of volatility going forward because of the increase in the loss size as well. So start of 2025, because of these reasons, and of course we'll be having Q3 numbers as well, Vishu, right? And it's going to be the last quarter for the F5 25. So much there in first month and first quarter itself, right? And I think it's going to be volatile quarter ahead. But then, overall, what we think is that Raj will do deep dive into it. Deep into it is that 21,800 is somewhere we believe is a good support, and those levels, if it all comes, would be a good buying opportunity. However, we don't wish, but then if at all it comes, that's the level to watch out for. On the downside, that's the crucial or critical level, I would say. On the upside, as far as our quant target is concerned, that comes to 27,500 as well. So from here on, as you said, कि 26,000 हमने देख लिया, 26 के बाद 23 भी देख लिया, 3,000 points cut, and Nifty thereafter managed to bounce back a bit. So I think that from current levels, 27,500 is approximately 4,000 points. Okay, and 21,800 is the support. So it's nearly around say 1,500 to 2,000 points. So risk reward is favorable on the long side overall. So we are expecting, if at all there is going to be a volatility, and if at all you get that profit booking or correction, that would be a very good entry point, because our target is 27,500. Yes, Vishu.
Beautiful. 27,500, lots of open skies. जैसा कि जैन भी बोला, थोड़ा और डीप डाइव करते हैं. राज, क्या हैं वो फैक्टर्स जिससे आपको लगता है कि 27,500 is something we should be looking at?
So, hello everyone for listening to us, and let's start, Vishu, first wrapping up 2024. So what I believe that we can part this 2024 in 3 days. First is before election. Second, the sharp up move what we have seen post elections. union election I'm talking about in June. And third, the recent profit booking, which brought us from 26,200 to current levels of 23,750. So in the first 6 months, your headline index hasn't done much. We ended the 2023 year around 21,800 and 21,800 if I'm not wrong. And during the election, we were somewhere around 22,500 only. But post-elections result, what we have seen that market is zooming sharply from 22,500 to somewhere around 26,200 uh, in just a quarter. And after that, since October, yes, it's more of a profit booking mode, which we are into right now. And we have seen a retracement of almost 3,000 points from the highs. So in nutshell, if you look at what were the drivers of the market, so obviously, if from the June onwards, FIs have become suddenly active. They poured a lot of money from 22,800 to 26,200. It was primarily the FI inflows which took the market on towards the 26,000 levels. But अगर आप एक बार निफ्टी को हटा दो और आप एक बार ब्रॉडर मार्केट को देखो तो that hasn't shown the same kind of volatility. The broader market has continued to perform well, whether it's your Nifty Next 50, mid cap, or even the small cap names. So at one point of time before election, when Nifty was up by just 7 to 8% YTD basis, your Nifty Next 50 was up by more than 25%. So it was clearly showing कि कहाँ पर पैसा जा रहा है, किस तरीके से लोग किन segments में लोग पैसा डाल रहे हैं. And it wasn't just FIs, your domestic money was in abundance. And right now, when we are witnessing some profit booking, so your domestic inflows, that is providing a much needed cushion to the market. And coming to the 27,500 levels, which is our next year target. So what we believe that we have achieved almost 8 to 10% sort of return this year without any external support. So we started around 21,800, currently around 23,800, 2,000 point sort of move without external support of FIs. So what we believe that same sort of return should be expected next year as well. And in case we get external support, in case we get FIs buying once again, they are getting into active into your secondary market, then perhaps these returns even may extend. So what we believe that yes, 27,500 should be on the cards in 2025.
Absolutely. So I think our quant report also mentions liquidity being an important aspect to watch out for in the coming year. Can we look into it a little more deeper and understand क्या हैं exactly वो parameters जो आप लोग देख रहे हैं?
Sure. So Vishu, basically in our report, mainly what we have tried to analyze and bring out to everyone is that what exactly happened, as Raj directed in what happened in 2024, right? Where was the money flowing? And from that, what basically what we can infer and what is the outlook going forward. So there are critical points which we have in fact noticed while analyzing 2024, and one of the part was that yes, FI has in fact removed, or I would say sold, of almost approximately 1.5 lakh crores from the secondary market, right? But at the same time, interestingly, what we've also found is that that money was used to basically invest in the primary market through IPOs, OFS, QIPs. Okay, that's point one. Right. Secondly, also interestingly, what we have found is that almost 4 lakh crores has been infused by the DIIs. Okay, and that mainly comes from the retail, I mean mutual fund investments, right? So retail HNI, ultra HNI, that money has come indirectly into the market. It's not direct. Investment has also been of almost 1.25 lakh crores. Okay, so net if you see, there has been a good money that has flown into the domestic money that has flown into the market, and because of which markets haven't corrected much as it would have been. Historically, if you have checked, whenever FI might have sold this much, markets have corrected sharply. And in fact, we have seen a more, or I would say, sharper corrections in the broader markets as well. This time around, the difference was, and this was unusual, that whenever Nifty is down by 10-15%, in fact, the broader markets are down by 20-25%, right? This time around, it outperformed the frontline indices. And this is one of the reasons which we have in fact noticed. And this is quite interesting data, in fact, to present to all. What does this mean now? This means that the kind of flows which we are getting through the route of mutual fund, I mean, it has reached almost 25,000 crore every month. So, and that brings out to 3 lakh crores in a year. We have around 5 crore unique accounts as far as mutual fund accounts are concerned, right? Now, even if it remains the same kind of money is going to flow in 2025. But generally, market investors basically increases as well. And we believe that yes, India is a good story for this entire decade, right? Until 2030. So expecting that at least even if it grows by 10%, and if the investors go from 5 to 5.5 and 3 lakh crore, SIP becomes 3.5 lakh crore. So that means more money is likely to come. Okay, now where has this money gone? That has gone into various different kind of thematic mutual funds and flexi cap, large cap, and all of it. It has gone into various other sectors which we'll discuss forward as well. I mean, which I and Raj would like to discuss. Otherwise, in one question I would answer all. But what I'm trying to say is that interestingly, as you have asked me that where has the liquidity flown? So we dive a bit more into it. Overview is that FI has marginally introduced fresh money of around 7,500 crores. Okay. And into the Indian markets. So they remove 1.5 lakh crores, introduce around 1.575 lakh crores in primary markets, and that's net only 7,500 crores. But DIIs, retail, they've invested heavily, and that's what have actually supported markets, and that's what have in fact we should help overall market sentiment to remain positive in 2024, and that brings out a lot of good investing opportunities for 2025 as well.
Absolutely, that's great to hear. So you mentioned FIIs. I think this question is on everybody's mind. When will FIIs make a comeback now? And if in general, what is the behavior that you're expecting from FIIs in the coming year in 2025 is the question really.
So Vishnu, first of all, एक छोटा सा मतलब ऐसे बोलूंगा कि FIIs ने पैसा निकाला ही नहीं पूरे साल, ना डाला ना निकाला. So the net flow for the year from the FIIs end is just neutral, somewhere around 6 to 7,000 crores till now. What has happened during the year? They have reshuffled or you can say rejig their portfolio. और FIIs के भी दो पार्ट होते हैं, एक होता है आपका एक्टिव मनी और एक होता है पैसिव मनी. एक्टिव मनी मतलब आप जैसे अपने स्टॉक्स देख रहे हैं, आपको लगता है कि ये रिलायंस अच्छा है या फिर ये अच्छा है, तो इसमें आप पैसा डालते हैं. और दूसरा होता है पैसिव मनी विच कम्स थ्रू योर ETF रूट, कि वेदर इट्स MSCI और द FTSE इंडाइसेस ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, एंड दे पुट मनी इन आवर मार्केट. तो वो क्या है कि अगर इमर्जिंग मार्केट में पैसा डालना है तो इमर्जिंग मार्केट में MSCI में लेट्स सपोज वी हैव अ वेट ऑफ 20%. सो इट्स नो मैटर व्हाट if somebody has invested 100 rupees in MSCI emerging market index, so 20%, that means 20 rupees has to come in Indian market. और उसमें भी एलोकेशन जो है पहले से जैसे निफ्टी में आपका वेट होता है वैसे ही इमर्जिंग मार्केट इंडेक्स में आपके स्टॉक्स का वेट है, वो पैसा आना ही आना है. बट कमिंग बैक टू योर प्राइमरी क्वेश्चन कि क्या FIIs ने पैसा निकाला, द आंसर इज नो. FIIs का एक बार पैसा आया, प्राइमरली दैट केम आफ्टर इलेक्शन, और वही चीज दोबारा से निकल गई. बट इफ यू लुक एट ओवरऑल फ्रॉम अ ईयर पर्सपेक्टिव, तो उन्होंने ना पैसा निकाला ना डाला. व्हाट दे हैव डन कि दे रिशफल्ड देयर पोर्टफोलियो. They pulled out money from the secondary market, put it through the primary domain. और primary भी बोलने में जैसे आपकी बहुत सारे IPOs आए हैं, बहुत सारे OFS आए हैं, बहुत सारी कंपनीज जो आपकी QIPs लेके आई हैं, प्रमोटर्स ने अपने स्टेक बेचे हैं, तो वो सारी चीजें वहां पर जो पैसा आया है वो पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? मतलब you have a limited money, right, Vishu? You cannot invest in 10 stocks equally. What you can do if you have to मतलब if you believe that okay, this stock is looking good, so you have to sell out some other stock, and that you have to put that money in some stock which you like more. So that's what FIs have done, and that's what in the coming session, मतलब अभी जब भी उस बारे में बात करेंगे हम करेंगे कि कैसे उन्होंने अपना सेक्टोरल एलोकेशन चेंज किया, किस तरीके से FIs का पैसा एक जगह से घूम के दूसरी जगह आया. अब पार्ट 2 ऑफ योर क्वेश्चन कि FIs कब आएंगे, तो भाई वो तो वही है कि आपके घर के मेहमान हैं, जब उनका मन होगा तब आएंगे. हम तो हमेशा उनका वेलकम करते हैं. बट यस, देयर आर नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच इज गोइंग ऑन. ऑब्वियसली ट्रेड को लेकर जैसे जय ने बोला कि आपके जो न्यू प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट हैं, द पॉलिसीज ओवर देयर, एंड एज ऑफ नाउ इफ यू कैन सी कि आपका जो डॉलर इंडेक्स है, लेट्स सपोज यू हैव सम मनी, वेयर विल यू पुट? जहां पर आपको लगता है कि आपके रिटर्न्स एश्योर है, आपको कहीं पर भी ऐसा लगता है कि आपके रिटर्न्स पे थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो सकता है, कम हो सकते हैं, व्हाई डू यू पुट योर मनी इन रिस्की एसेट्स? सो इफ यू लुक एट यूएस बॉन्ड यील्ड्स, सो दे आर एट 4.6% currently. 10-year bond yields at 4.6%. तो भाई उनके लिए तो उससे ज्यादा सेफेस्ट कुछ है ही नहीं. वो करेंसी का रिस्क लेंगे, इक्विटी का रिस्क लेंगे और यहाँ पैसा डालेंगे. So that's why US market is doing much better than the rest of the world right now. And second, obviously, it's us. But we are more because of our own domestic liquidity, and US is more because of their strength in dollar index. So for them to leave US, come back to us, we have to look at कि हाँ भाई वहां पर इंटरेस्ट रेट की क्या ट्रेजेक्टरी होने वाली है, डॉलर इंडेक्स में किस तरीके का मूव एक्सपेक्ट करोगे आप इन सेकेंड हाफ. वो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं जो आपके अलाउ करेंगे आपको समझने के लिए कि वेदर वी आर गोइंग टू विटनेस एंड FIs inflow next year or not. But no matter what, passive money that will remain here. And we have 20% weight in MSCI Emerging Market Index. We have almost 17 or 16% weight in FTSE Emerging Market Index. I'm not sure about the FTSE. But yeah, वो जो passive money है indices के through आती है, that will continue to come in. Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली. तो आपने बताया उन्होंने अपना पोर्टफोलियो इधर से उठा के उधर थोड़ा चर्न किया. क्या सेक्टोरली क्या हम लोग देख सकते हैं FIIs के पोर्टफोलियोज में कि कहां से कहां मूव हुआ है पैसा?
श्योर. देखिए विशु, ओवरऑल अगर आप देखें FI का कैलेंडर ईयर 2024 में बहुत ही क्लियर है, आपको ये समझ में आ जाएगा लुकिंग एट द करंट मार्केट सिनेरियो एज वेल. सी FI की जैसे राज ने भी बात की, एंड यू नो वन थिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नोटिस इज दैट एज वी आर डिस्कसिंग इज दैट के with the introduction of the money by the DIIs retail, what has outperformed mid and small cap indices, right? And what has underperformed with the FI monies going out is the large caps, right? We should. So large caps में से अगर आप देखें मेजरली जिसका वेटेज है इंडेक्स में has been BFSI sector. So वहाँ पे I would say highest outflow रहा है FIs का. Because the FIIs basically have their holdings majorly into the large caps. Now, right now, if you see the FI holding in the Indian equities is around 15 to 17% range, whereas DIIs, holding in Indian equities has grown up to 37-38%. So it's more than double as far as FIIs are concerned, right? अब उसका काफी शेयर mid and small cap indices या stocks में है DIIs का. Out of that 38% holdings in Indian equities. FIIs का ये भी जो 15 to 17% होल्डिंग है उसमें से मेजर तो लार्ज कैप का ही है. So if they will sell from large caps, right? And then probably अब जब उन्होंने QIP IPO FS किया है तो उसका एक बाद में लॉक इन भी होता है. जब तक वो लॉक इन रिलीज नहीं होता, आई थिंक दैट सेम मनी कमिंग बैक इनटू ऐसा तो नहीं है कि IPO पे लगाया, लिस्टिंग गेन किया हमने एंड 20% अब 30% बुक किया. दे डोंट इन्वेस्ट as many other retail think of listing गेन के लिए बुक करें. So they have that kind of lock in there, right? So major money has been pulled out from BFSI, followed by oil and gas. Now BFSI, despite issue जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा FI का outflow रहा, BFSI sector, however, has outperformed Nifty. Okay, so in the previous fall which we had seen, when Nifty corrected by almost 3,000 points, and that was approximately 11.5%, 12%, BFSI banking, rather I would put it that way because banking है ज्यादा weightage है, तो लगभग 7.5% ही डाउन था. So from this you can clearly infer that okay, FIIs has pulled out from there. And why has the sector outperformed Nifty? So probably DIIs have probably done some sectoral rotation there. And वहाँ पे भी क्या हो गया ना कि HDFC में पैसा आया है, दूसरे में से गया है, तो HDFC has as Raju discussed about MSCI and FTSE rebalancing. So because of MSCI rebalancing काफी पैसा HDFC बैंक में आ गया, World Bank BFSI से निकला भी हो, but HDFC बैंक का weightage होने के कारण आपका बैंक निफ्टी आउट परफॉर्म कर गया. That's also one of the reasons. Second is oil and gas, and we all know that the big B of Indian markets, Nifty 50 में से Reliance has really underperformed in calendar year 2024. नहीं returns ही नहीं दिए almost, right? And that has weighed heavily on the oil and gas sector because it has almost 60% weightage into it. So that's been the second sector wherein outflow. Our third is FMCG. I mean, generally FMCG slowly steadily चलता है, but this time around FMCG में heavy correction देखने मिला, काफी shorts भी build up होते हुए देखने मिले. Right, so if we discuss, when we'll discuss the stocks wherein there are heavy shorts, you have it from FMCG as well and from BFSI as well and oil and gas as well, right? So यहाँ पे shorts भी काफी accumulate हुए apart from FII selling. But yes, the shift has been to capital goods. Healthcare pharma has done good, okay, and is likely to do good. So वहाँ पे अच्छा है. Telecom, I mean, yeah, we have seen the performance of Indus Tower and Bharti. Obviously, Bharti का weightage ज़्यादा है. So these are the three sectors. Wherein main three sectors wherein the money of FIIs has come in, and the three sectors which I discussed, BFSI, oil and gas, and FMCGs are the three main sectors जहाँ से they have pulled out the money.
Absolutely. Acha, let's go back to the outlook wala section. I think given that such a volatile scenario that we have been seeing in the past few weeks, एक सवाल ये भी लोगों के दिल में बहुत है कि सपोर्ट कहाँ रहेगा मेजर, जो आपने टच अपॉन किया इन द बिगिनिंग, बट लेट्स कैन वी डाइव अ लिटिल डीपर इनटू इट एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि कहाँ पर 2024 में एक मेजर सपोर्ट हमारे पास रहेगा, कि 27,500 तो ऊपर मिल गया, नीचे कहाँ तक जा सकता है मार्केट?
Post COVID, there is the time frame is a bit lower to understand from the yearly perspective. But post COVID, what has happened that this mean plus 1.5 sigma levels that has been as acting as a support, and currently those levels are placed near 21,800 levels. So what we believe that 21,800 itself, or after the CY 23 has ended at 21,800. So obviously आपका yearly basis पे जो आपका last year का closing price है, क्योंकि what we are going to witness is market is going below those levels, then perhaps आप बोलोगे कि आपने 1.5 साल की gain दे दी है, market is flat on 2 years basis, something like that. So that's where 21,800 levels come into picture, and we don't think that market. Let's suppose we are talking negatively. So what can happen that we may consolidate. Are we looking at a deep correction like we have seen in the COVID or something like that? No, Indian market we don't have corrections. So even 21,800 itself from the current levels is your almost 2,000 points. So that means another say 8 to 10% correction from current levels. Top से तो 20% correction की हम लोग बात करते हैं. So we don't think that market should move below those levels. In the worst case scenario, we should be more into time-based consolidation, or you can say price correction की बजाय हम लोग time correction को witness कर सकते हैं. That could be the base case scenario what we are looking into. So 21,800, which is the last year closing, which is the mean plus 1.5 sigma levels for the Nifty. So that we are holding as a support.
Absolutely. Great. अच्छा, you also mentioned कि FIIs तो गए लेकिन DIIs did play their role. तो इसमें जो हमारे रिटेलर्स की SIPs हैं, उनका कहाँ तक रोल रहा है मार्केट को सपोर्ट करने में, स्ट्रेंथन करने में, या इन जनरल मार्केट में हमारा क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन है SIPs का?
More or less similarly रहा है. More or less I would say issue similarly रहा है, as in कहाँ पे म्यूचुअल फंड का पैसा आया है. So see, the trend has shifted, I would say, quite a lot issue since COVID. Okay, तब अगर आप देखें तो काफी पैसा मार्केट में आया कब से, नंबर ऑफ डीमैट अकाउंट्स खुले कब से ज्यादा. I mean that's post COVID, right? Or since COVID, you can say from post March 20 is what I can say, right? जब लॉकडाउन लगा सब घर बैठे. So, there is what way people realize that this is one market which is open every day, and this is somewhere they found an opportunity as well, because market had corrected quite a lot then. Okay, so as we say in market, right, that you buy the fear and sell the greed. And that is what the I would say the Indians have done it rightly by getting into the markets at the time where there was highest fear and there was a lot of opportunities, right? And वहां से flows बढ़े, right? We should. और वो फ्लोज ज्यादा तब से चेंज ही हमें देखने मिला और जब बहुत सब्सटेंशियल चेंज देखने मिला कि पैसा आपका फ्लेक्सी का फंड्स में काफी आया इज व्हाट वी हैव एनालाइज्ड एंड दैट्स बीन ग्रोइंग in fact, and the difference between the investment coming into the large cap and investment coming into the flexi cap has been widening. Okay, because flexi cap basically has that flexibility, as the name suggests, that to for it gives that flexibility to the fund manager to maneuver within the mid and small and large cap. So जहाँ पे opportunity लगता है वहाँ पे आप ज़्यादा allocation करते हैं. Multi cap में there has been a strict rule that you have to allocate so and so percentage, not go on that, right? So that much flexibility is not there. So outperformance के chances fund manager के बढ़ जाते हैं when they have this kind of a flexibility. So second has come into sectoral and thematic fund. I mean, that was even to my surprise because I mean, thought of mid and small cap index में थोड़ा ज़्यादा आया रहेगा. Okay, but thematic funds के route through भी ज़्यादा आया है. In fact, if you see the money which has come into the large cap or mid cap में double आया है. So one can find in the report as well. I mean, it's double. Okay, in 2024, the kind of money which has come into the mid cap. So sectoral thematic funds may and then mid cap, small cap, and last it's been into the large cap. So this is as far as the overall heavyweights कौन है कि mid cap, small cap कहाँ है उस लिहाज से मैंने आपको बताया. I mean sectorally, I mean Raj can add to this. I mean where the money has come, but मैंने आपको ये ट्रेंड शिफ्ट पूरा बता दिया कि कहाँ पे लिक्विडिटी और कहाँ पे फंड आया, कहाँ पे एक्सेस आया. ओके, बेस्ड ऑन दैट, ओके, व्हाट हैज बीन द म्यूचुअल फंड मूवमेंट एज वेल इनटू द सेक्टोरल्स. ओके, एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो हमने हमारे स्लाइड में भी बताई है, ये तो हमने बताया ही है, हमारे प्रेजेंटेशन में हमने बताया, हमारे रिपोर्ट में हमने कवर किया है. One more important thing which you can actually confirm this with is that the Nifty 500 to Nifty chart, okay, that has provided a breakout. I would say so. Nifty index has been, dominated by almost 10 stocks, which has almost 60% kind of weightage. So those 10 stocks, if you get a huge move, Nifty outperforms, right? Now, ये पैसा जो आया है through the route of flexi cap, mid cap, sectoral, उससे हो क्या गया? There has been a shift from these, index heavyweights to the broader markets, and that's how the broader markets, again, non-index stocks, are leading, outperforming, and that's because of which जो निफ्टी 500 to निफ्टी का रेशियो अगर आप देखेंगे ना, तो वहां पे ब्रेकआउट आया है टेक्निकली. एंड टेक्निकली ब्रेकआउट आने का मतलब ये हो गया, वो रेशियो लगभग इट यूज्ड टू होवर बिटवीन 0.8 0.9. नाउ इट हैज मूव्ड बियॉन्ड 0.9, व्हिच मींस and it's been a huge consolidation. विश्व में अगर आपको बताओ तो we have checked this from 1995. So 1995 से 2024 25 simplicity, तो after 25-30 years ये रेशियो ने ऊपर की तरफ ब्रेकआउट दिया, and this indicate that this kind of money has come into broader markets and more such sticky money is expected in 2025. हमने बात करी ली 25,000 करोड़ हर महीने and maybe even more, right? ये दिल मांगे more is kind of like that. So I think with that breakout we anticipate that the broader markets are likely to moving forward outperform as well. So this is the overall space overview where the domestic money is going on, and ये flow जो mid and small cap का रहा है, it has really outpaced the large caps. As I said, the difference, जो mid and small cap में रहता था, अगर आप 2021 में देखें, so 10% ज़्यादा पैसा आया था as compared to large cap. If I talk about 2022, it increased. It increased by how much? It increased by almost from 10% it went to 20%. Okay, in 23, 50% mid and small cap में पैसा है as compared to large cap. And in 24, 100%. And because of which we have also got this breakout in the Nifty 500 to Nifty chart as well, and that's how it's likely to perform going forward as well, is what we're expecting, because it's a huge consolidation breakout, and Raj will definitely throw more light sectorally.
Right, so absolutely, let's get into that. Sectorally speaking, what have DIs been up to?
Okay. देखो विशु, what I believe that people or the investors who came post COVID, they are much more evolved than the previous generation, and they are not just looking into the so-called blue chip names. So if you ask anybody before 2020, हाँ भाई पैसा कहाँ डालना चाहिए, तो they will tell you, okay, these are the stocks, these are the legacy names which used to perform, and they have been doubler or they have been multi-baggers. बट एक जगह म्यूचुअल फंड में भी हर जगह लिखे रहती है ना कि पास्ट परफॉर्मेंस इज नॉट द गारंटी ऑफ फ्यूचर परफॉर्मेंस. सो आई थिंक दिस न्यू जनरेशन दे अंडरस्टैंड द मार्केट्स वेल, दे अंडरस्टैंड द चेंज इन द डायनेमिक्स, and that's why they have moved away from the legacy sectors, and we have seen that new leaders from the various sectors have emerged. Even stocks like Zomato, Swiggy, or the number of defense names, they have been a real multi-bagger for the markets or the new investors. So what we believe that what we have seen that legacy sectors which used to be your banking, FMCG, oil and gas, they have significantly underperformed the market. So where the next sort of movement or next sort of performance was seen, so that was particularly in the capital goods. Capital goods also includes defense, consumer services, where we have seen the hotels and anything which leads to your broader participation in the market or the evolving India, you can say. So pharma is a different ballgame altogether. Pharma had seen a significant price performance along with the ownership change. But when it comes to the bank, when it comes to the FMCG, when it comes to the oil and gas, they have not only underperformed, but even the ownership, which is supposed to be increased significantly, that hasn't increased. And that's the reason why we have seen Nifty underperforming, because oil and gas holds, अगर मैं केवल Reliance की बात करूं, तो that used to have a 13 or 14% weight in Nifty. Now it has came down. If you look at the BFSI, that used to have 37 to 38% weight in Nifty, that has came down to 32%. And on the other hand, if you look at the telecom, so just a year back or 1.5 years back, Bharti was holding just not even 2% weight in Nifty. Now it is almost double. Even in stocks from the capital goods space, which is not part of the Nifty, particularly the defense things, but they have gained traction. And your HAL is one of the highest rated stock in Nifty Next 50. So पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है? ब्रॉडर मार्केट में जा रहा है. कौन से सेक्टर्स में आ रहा है? न्यू एज सेक्टर्स में आ रहा है, न्यू लीडर्स में आ रहा है. आपके जो पुराने लीगेसी नेम्स हैं, लीगेसी सेक्टर्स हैं, शायद उन्होंने मतलब अब एज ऑफ नाउ इट सीम्स लाइक फ्रॉम लुकिंग एट द डेटा कि दे मे नॉट बी एबल टू परफॉर्म द सेम वे वेयर योर न्यू एज और न्यू स्टॉक्स आर गोइंग टू परफॉर्म.
एब्सोल्युटली. अच्छा, एक और चीज जो सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत डिस्कस होती है, विच इज कि हिस्ट्री रिपीट्स इटसेल्फ, एंड बार बार लोगों को डराया जाता है टू से द लीस्ट कि जो अभी निफ्टी है वो कहीं 2008 के वैल्यूएशंस पे खड़ा हुआ है. कभी बोलते हैं कि 2015 से 18 का पीरियड चल रहा है. कभी कोई एक्साइट हो जाता है, बोलता है 2003 से 2007 के पीरियड में भी ऐसा ही हुआ था जब बुल रन देखा गया था. सो व्हाट फेज अकॉर्डिंग टू यू आर वी इन? मतलब कैसा मार्केट है अभी हमारा हिस्टोरिकली स्पीकिंग?
You would like to say, Raj?
Definitely. So, Vishu, what I believe that, see, life is a sine wave and the market is also a sine wave. बस उसकी प्रवणता या टेंजेंट जो होता है, that is a different than the life. And I have no doubt that history repeats itself. बट आपको हिस्ट्री को किस तरीके से देखते हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है. मतलब आपने ही तीन चीजें मेरे से बोली, क्या ये 2003 से 7 तक का मार्केट है जिसमें वन वे अप देखा गया है, या ये 2010 to 14 वाला मार्केट है जिसमें हमने कंसोलिडेशन देखा है. और देखो एक चीज मैं ये बताता हूँ कि आप निफ्टी के स्टॉक्स आज से 5 साल पहले के आप निफ्टी के स्टॉक्स सोचिए, या आज से 10 साल पहले इंडेक्स में क्या स्टॉक थे. सेंसेक्स का भी अगर किसी को याद हो तो क्या क्या स्टॉक हुआ करते थे, आज वो नहीं है. तो व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंडेक्स, दैट विल रिमेन योर टॉप परफॉर्मिंग कंपनीज. आज आपके पास ट्रेंड आ गया इंडेक्स में, आपका जोमेटो आने वाला इंडेक्स में, न्यू स्टॉक्स आर कमिंग इनटू. सो यस, देयर कुड बी अ क्वेश्चन मार्क रिगार्डिंग द वैल्यूएशन, no doubt about it. But once a stock starts underperforming, that will move out of the index. Your new stock which will outperform, which is outperforming right now, like Zomato, which is outperforming, that might be part of Nifty. So that's how the market moves. And in terms of changes, yes, if you look at, we have given a slide in US markets कि क्या हुआ. तो यूएस मार्केट्स में हम लोगों ने एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चीज देखी थी, मूव देखा था मार्केट्स में, कि जब फाइनेंशियलाइजेशन स्टार्ट हुआ मार्केट का, जहां पर आपके जो छोटे छोटे लोग थे, रिटेल इन्वेस्टर था, दे उन्होंने अपनी फाइनेंशियल सेविंग्स को एफडी से निकालकर मार्केट में डालना चालू किया. तो वो टाइम था 1980s to 2000. एंड इफ यू लुक एट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टू द यूएस मार्केट्स, तो within I think within 2 decades that market has become 20x. अब ऐसा नहीं कि उस बीच में हमने कोई छोटे मोटे करेक्शन नहीं देखे होंगे, हमने देखे होंगे, डेफिनेटली देखे होंगे, बट in a larger trend it was tremendously positive for the in terms of returns for an investor. कि क्या हुआ कि आपने जो 1980 में पैसा डाला 13 गुना हो गया 2000 तक. एंड इट इज द हेडलाइन एनालिसिस, मतलब डाउ जोन्स की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, हम मिड कैप एंड स्मॉल कैप की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. इसीलिए मैंने बात स्टार्ट की निफ्टी से. तो हमारे यहाँ क्या हुआ अभी तक, हम लोगों ने भी जो हमारा 10 से 30% तो हो गया, जो हमारे हाउस होल्ड की जो फाइनेंशियल सेविंग, जो इक्विटी ओनरशिप है, दैट हैज बिकम ऑलमोस्ट 30% ऑफ द मार्केट. अब एक तरफ आप एसआईपी फ्लो देखते हो, एक तरफ आप लोग ये देख रहे हो कि किस तरीके से इंडिया इज अ स्टैंड अलोन एंटिटी व्हेन इट कम्स टू रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. तो प्रीमियमाइजेशन की स्टोरी इंडिया के साथ है, फाइनेंशियल सेविंग की स्टोरी इंडिया के साथ है, और इन सब के साथ साथ आपकी लिक्विडिटी है. तो आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि हाँ भाई वी माइट बिकम अ 13x. मैं नहीं जानता कि हम 13x होंगे या ऑलरेडी 13x हो चुके हैं, क्योंकि पॉइंट टू पॉइंट कंपैरिजन करना इज नॉट समथिंग व्हिच इज ऑलवेज. बट हम कहां पर बैठे हुए हैं, आप ये समझिए कि अगर हम लोग 25,000 करोड़ की एसआईपी हर महीने कर रहे हैं और ये कम हो जाती है, आप, मैं कहता हूं ठीक है 25,000 करोड़ एक पीक है, वी माइट बी सेटलिंग अराउंड 20,000 crores. Let's take a worst case example. But even in that scenario, we are looking at almost 2.5 lakh crore of inflows in the market. और एसआईपी को एक स्टिकी मनी माना जाता है. तो अगर हम लोग 2.5 लाख करोड़ के इनफ्लो की बात कर रहे हैं, तो एफआईएस को, मतलब हमें अगर मार्केट को नीचे लाना है, तो देयर हैज टू बी समथिंग कि जिसमें मैं जो पैसा डाल रहा हूँ एसआईपी के थ्रू, आप जो पैसा डाल रहे हो वो आप बंद करो, अपना पैसा निकालो. आप उस तरीके का डर लगे मार्केट में कि आप ये सब बंद करके चलो मार्केट छोड़ो, बाहर निकालो, बहुत डरावना है. तो दैट नीड सम ट्रिगर. वो ट्रिगर क्या हो सकता है मुझे नहीं पता. जैसे कोविड भी एक ट्रिगर था जिसमें लोगों ने अपनी सेविंग्स बाहर निकाली, बट उसके बाद भी उनको रियलाइज हुआ ना विद इन अ ईयर कि भैया वो भी लेवल निकल गया, उससे भी हम लोग जो है ऑलमोस्ट डबल पे खड़े हुए हैं विद इन 3 years. तो देयर इज नो अदर इंस्ट्रूमेंट which has given better returns than equity. तो एक टीना फैक्टर की बात होती थी, there is no alternative. What I believe Indian equity is now part of the टीना factor, and as a retail investor we do understand that okay, yes, if we want to have that returns which can beat inflation, then we don't have any other alternative but to remain invested in equities.
Absolutely. Right. So I guess now let's get to the aspect जो कि most awaited है, which is the top picks for 2025. Which will it be according to your quant analysis?
Sure, Vishu. Well, see, there are a couple of ideas which we have come out with as far as, our outlook is concerned. But the first one which I would like to say is Zydus Life. Reason being is, Vishu, that overall pharma as a sector we've seen has performed quite well, right, Vishu? So pharma has performed quite well, and among which I believe that Zydus Life has been a very good uptrending stock. We have seen a good long build up in the stock as well, as far as Zydus Pharma is concerned, or Zydus Life is concerned, rather. But then recently we have seen a good correction also coming into this stock, Vishu. But that has been on account of long liquidation and not of short covering. Okay. So generally when the markets or the stocks are going up, we see price going up, we see volumes going up, right? And along with that, we see open interest also going up. That clearly indicates that there is a lot of strength in the stock, right? Hence, the momentum is quite in favor of the upside and the stock moves up. Thereafter, we see, generally stocks be, correcting. Now, the correction comes either out of long liquidation or short buildup. The short buildup really creates much of pressure on the stock and limits its upside unless you see a short covering out there, right? In Zydus Life, we have seen long unwinding. Okay, there was good long position correction has been come due to long unwinding. And now it has come to a level wherein, it provides the comfort again as the positions are quite light. बोलते हैं ना, पोजीशन हल्की हो जाती है मार्केट में और स्टॉक अगर अट्रैक्टिव लेवल पर आता है तो रिस्क और फेवरेबल हो जाता है, और वहां से अगर मतलब स्टॉक का नया अप ट्रेंड रिज्यूम होता है जहां पे यू एंटिसिपेट के लॉन्ग बिल्डअप आप होगा, तो लॉन्ग बिल्डअप होने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं। और आपके शॉर्ट्स तो है नहीं, तो ऐसा नहीं कि आपको ऊपर के लेवल पे इतना आपको सेलिंग प्रेशर भी देखने मिले, ये शॉर्ट्स है, आई मीन। So that is one of the reason why we are bullish on Zydus Life and Zydus. That's among the pharma sector. Have a target of 1320 on the upside. Stop loss it's 809 on the closing basis, and we have recommended this to accumulate this into 969.90 range. So that is the first stock wherein we are bullish. Okay. Second stock which I would like to name is United Breweries. That's from the FMCG. Now this is again a defensive stock. Okay. Why United Breweries? We have seen this entire sector performing quite well since COVID, right? So, like our markets, that market was quite active, and we've seen a good price up move as well. May it be United Spirits, maybe from the non-FNO stocks like Radico Khaitan, and maybe one more FNO stock like UBL. UBL, I would say, has technically has taken a good support. Point number one. And second reason why we think that UBL is likely to go up is that we have seen a significant, or we are continuously seeing good build up here as well. Okay, so the stock basically like Raj, while explaining the targets for Nifty, I mean, we see that there is a mean reversion technique wherein the stock deviates from the mean on the upside by 3x, and we get to the target of 27,500. Likewise, on UBL, if you move 3 sigma away, because that's where the stock has been taking support at the 1 sigma levels, right? So it reverts to the mean and is expected to again deviate from mean and go to the 3 sigma levels on the upside. Second was important thing which we have seen is that it has shown signs of gaining momentum due to delivery based accumulation. So generally one thing which we see is that whether there is long build up or maybe अगर हल्का पोजीशन है अनवाइंडिंग हो गया, तो आप जैसे जायरस के बारे में बात यहाँ पे डिलीवरी वॉल्यूम्स अगर आप देखें, so that's increasing, that's gaining. स्टॉक का जैसे मैंने एफएनओ में कहा, the OI has been consistently declining since September 2023. So आज ऑलमोस्ट एक साल ऊपर हो गया इशू, एंड प्राइस ऊपर है, OI नीचे है, राइट? तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका वो वापस पोजीशन हल्के लेवल पर आ गया है जहाँ तक वो OI का है. सो दोनों स्टॉक जो मैंने रेकमेंड किए वो वही है कि जहाँ पे OI लो है, ओके, शॉर्ट बिल्डअप नहीं है, एंड हल्के होने के कारण आपकी अपमूव होने के चांसेस ज्यादा है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इज व्हाट वी एक्सपेक्टिंग है. यहाँ पे अगर पोजीशंस बनना चालू हुई, then probably you will get a good up move going forward. So both of these ideas are on the similar lines. Hence, the second buy recommendation of ours is on UBL, and we have a target of 2525, 2525 out here. So 2025 में आप UBL 2525 देख सकते हैं. We have a stop loss of 1720 out there on a closing basis.
Absolutely. राज, आपकी तरफ से क्या रहेंगी टॉपिक्स?
देखिए, मेरी तरफ से नहीं, हमारी तरफ से है. और क्या है कि हमने कई तरीके से ट्राई किया कि कैसे हम लोग इन स्टॉक्स पर पहुंचा जाए. तो इफ यू लुक एट द नेम्स, सो ऐसा कोई स्टॉक नहीं है जो निफ्टी का पार्ट है इसमें. वी प्रेफर द ब्रॉडर मार्केट नेम्स एंड दैट टू पार्ट ऑफ FII. अब इसमें दो तरीके के नाम हैं, जैसे वेयर वी हैव सीन अ गुड डिक्लाइन and risk reward opportunities have been much better. And second are those names which have outperformed the rest of its peers, and still we believe that this performance might continue. So जैसे Zydus Life है, अभी जय ने बताया कि जब ये गिरा तो we haven't seen any short actions, even it was more of a liquidation, and that might be because of the market condition. Similarly United Breweries. अब अगर मैं दूसरे सेट के स्टॉक्स पे आता हूँ तो मैं अभी बात करूंगा मेटल में. तो मेटल में इफ यू लुक एट अक्रॉस द बोर्ड, वेदर इट्स अ फेरस और नॉन फेरस नेम्स, they have been under pressure for almost 1 year. None of the metal name has been able to perform, whether it's because of the dollar index or because of your geopolitical tensions या चाइना रिकवरी का लेकर जो कुछ भी है. बट वेदांता इज अ नेम which has significantly outperformed not only its peers but even outperformed the market. If you look at it from the Nifty perspective. And here also, what has happened, ki despite all this outperformance, we haven't seen any sign of weakness. So until unless there is a weakness coming into picture, why would someone might be moving away from such names? And secondly, अगर आता है चाइना में रिकवरी आती है, they are taking a lot of actions, या अगर डॉलर इंडेक्स में वीकनेस आती है, ये मतलब हाँ वहां पे डॉलर इंडेक्स में वीकनेस आती है, तो दैट शुड बी पॉजिटिव फॉर द एंटायर मेटल पैक। और उसमें जब इस तरह से होता है तो विच स्टॉक शुड लाइकली टू आउटपरफॉर्म द रेस्ट? जो ऑलरेडी आउटपरफॉर्म है, जहां पे ऑलरेडी एक्यूमुलेशन चल रहा है। तो व्हाट वी बिलीव दैट in line with the rest of the names, Vedanta in the metal space, that is likely to give us a good up move. What we believe that it might even move towards 600 levels in a 12 months time frame. So और उसके अलावा अगर फंडामेंटल रीजनिंग में जाएंगे तो जितना मुझे पता है, आई एम नॉट अ फंडामेंटल एक्सपर्ट, बट जितना मुझे पता है कि प्रमोटर लेवल पे काफी कोशिश की जा रही है कि इसका डेट कम हो। तो अगर कोई कंपनी का डेट कम होता है तो सीधे के सीधे उसका मार्केट कैप में ऐड होता है। तो देयर आर नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच वन कैन से कि वो पॉजिटिविटी यहाँ पर चल रही है। So that's how we have arrived at Vedanta. And the next name is Ashok Leyland. Again, with the same analogy which we talked about Vedanta. अगर हम लोग सीवी स्पेस में देखें तो आप चाहे उसको टाटा मोटर्स को ले लें जो पीवी प्लस सीवी है, या आप टू व्हीलर ऑटो नेम्स देखें तो अक्रॉस द बोर्ड सिग्निफिकेंट शॉर्ट एडिशंस है। ठीक है, अगर मुझे कवरिंग पर्सपेक्टिव से देखना है, किसी स्टॉक को देखना है, तो पहले मैं 4-5% छोड़ूंगा, देखता हूँ कि कवरिंग आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है, और फिर विल ट्राई टू मूव इन दैट bandwagon. But apart from that, if you look at just individually the stocks like Ashok Leyland, I think there isn't much which we can lose. Just like Nifty, the stock has shown its tendency to find support somewhere around its main levels, which is currently placed at 180. धीमे धीमे लेवल्स भी ऊपर आएगा, एंड जो करंट लेवल्स पे मुझे लग रहा है कि जो इसका अपर बैंड है इसके टारगेट का, दैट शुड बी समवेयर अराउंड 300. Currently, your 3 sigma is placed around 275, but we can expect that it may extend it towards 300 levels. So, not just risk reward, but even look at the delivery based accumulation, which is going on in last first 6 months of the year, जिसमें stock almost 180 से 250 तक गया। तो whatever the retracement which we are expecting, witnessing right now, we believe that it's buying opportunity. And lastly would be the Ambuja Cement. अब क्या है कि कुछ ग्रुप लेवल पे कुछ इश्यूज थे या फिर जो भी एलिगेशन थे, वी जस्ट ट्राई टू लुक अवे फ्रॉम दोज थिंग्स। एंड अगर मैं केवल एक स्टॉक को और डेटा फ्रंट पे लाकर इसको देखूं तो इतने अच्छे लेवल पे ये स्टॉक अवेलेबल था कि मतलब हमसे रहा नहीं गया। इट वाज लाइक कि it is trading at its long-term mean levels, so which is somewhere around 500. और जब इसने यहाँ से सपोर्ट लिया है, it has given a good uptrend. तो अगर मैं उसका जो अपट्रेंड का जो ऊपर का लेवल होता है मैं उसकी बात करूँ तो वो तो 770 के आसपास है। That means you are talking about a fresh life high. But still, without that also, what we believe that level of 500. Somewhere close to that is a good buying opportunity. And if you look at from the not just from the risk reward perspective, but even the delivery which has happened in last couple of months, what we believe that it might outperform the rest of the names. और here also अगर आप देखोगे कि बाकी के सीमेंट के नाम में सीमेंट स्टॉक्स में किस तरीके का मूव आया है, तो that was phenomenal. So as of now, it might be consolidating. It might seems to be that okay, Ambuja Cement is consolidating near lows, but in terms of recovery or in terms of reward from the current levels, I think Ambuja Cement is the best place among the cement names.
Absolutely. Well, that was it for now, but do let us know in the comments आपकी analysis क्या कहती है 2025, what does it hold for us, and also tell us your top favorite picks क्या लगता है, and of course if you have any questions for Raj and Jay, you can put them down as well. That was it for now. Thank you so much, Raj and Jay, for sharing your experience and expertise with us. We'll be back very soon with another video.
Thank you and wish you all a very happy new year.
Thank you, everyone.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.